Hey, hello. My name is Excel, and welcome to my Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade speedrun tutorial. This tutorial will focus on New Game Plus Easy, no major glitches, which means no major glitches, no big skips, nor any outer bounds will be used during this run. This is going to be played on the PS5 version of the game, although this route can still apply if you're on PC too. The only difference really is the timing methods, because PC uses LRT, which is load remover time, and console uses RTA, which is real-time attack. Now, this is mainly aimed at beginners, but anyone can try this out, even if you've never ran the game before. As reference, I've held and currently hold multiple world records for this game, which by the time this series goes live should have already been verified and published on the channel, but I will also link some playlists in the description as well. With Rebirth right around the corner, I felt I should make this tutorial leading up to it, just in case anyone wanted to try and pick up the run before Rebirth. It may seem daunting and a long run, because my runs clock in at just under 5 hours, but it's really not that bad at all once you've tried it a few times. And I'm also going to break this down in 3 total episodes in order to be slightly more digestible instead of a whole 5-hour session at once. So yeah, with all that out of the way, let's move over to the game and begin. Alright, a couple of things to go over first. Long speedrun stamina. One thing that I would give advice for this is basically learn the game in chunks. Learn it level per level basis. Just learn 3-4 chapters at a time, something like that, just to make it easier on yourself. Learn the first 5 chapters, run them over and over again, then learn 6 to 11 and run them over and over again. Things like that. That will help you get used to running a long run and remembering everything. Write a lot of notes. If you're new and you're a beginner, write a lot of notes. I originally made over 4 pages of notes for this game when I was first learning it on PS4. Drinks, hydration. Hydration is important. Make sure you've got yourself a drink, or 2. I usually have a cup of coffee and a bottle of water or something. I used to, on PS4, when I started running this game back on the PS4 days, I used to use this big jug. It's bigger than my head. Now I've reduced down to a more regular water bottle size. So, yeah. If you're on PS4, if you're playing on the PS4 version, you also can load up with some snacks, get some Doritos, some Cheetos, a bit of pizza, whatever you like. You've got time. On this version and on PC, you haven't got time because the load times are way quicker than PS4. For reference, the vanilla PS4 version, when you first meet Barrett, The cutscene for him is like 35 seconds on PS4, and on this version it's about 4 seconds. So, because this run is timed in real time, I'm playing this run on the PS5 version, like I said, so I'm going to assume that you're learning on the PS5 with me then, for instance. But for that sake, and well, pretty much even on PC as well, it doesn't really matter. The bathroom breaks are on Chapter 8, which is about 1:30, Chapter 9, which is about 1:30, and then on, depending on if you took Chapter 8 or not. And then on Chapter 16, there's 2 mini breaks, enough to pee if you're close to the bathroom. You can choose to go anytime you need to go, however, do keep in mind that you're just going to have to take the time loss if that is the case. It's happened to me before when my upstairs bathroom was out of commission. I lost like 12 to 14 seconds on Chapter 16, because I had to run downstairs and upstairs, but it is what it is. If you got to go, then go, basically. But yeah, okay, well, let's get into the game first. I'm going to load up a save. And we're going to go over some settings and things that you should write down and copy. I think this one is the correct one I prepared earlier. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay. So, first of all, go ahead and hop into System and Options, and then Gameplay. Obviously, we're on Easy. Cursor position out of battle. Some of these are preference to me, but some of them are... Some of the settings I'm going to suggest will make some of the tricks a bit easier later on. So I like to have out of battle, cursor position, I like to have forget. In battle, I like to remember so that I can spam something with X if I want to do the same thing again. Minimap, I like to have static, just because I like to always know that up is north. And then everything else is, you know, up to you. If you want to swap the garden shortcut menu, that's fine. I'm going to tutorialize this and assume that you're using default controls, so L1 is shortcut menu. That's how I'm going to go over this. I'm also, for the benefit of this tutorial, going to plug in my controller here and use this overlay so you can see what buttons I press, which I thought might be handy to at least see the inputs as well, especially if in a rush I can't verbally tell you what I'm doing, maybe because I'm buffering something else in the background. At least this way, if I miss anything, basically, you will see the inputs and you'll be able to match it up. Alright, camera controls. This one is, again, sort of preference, but I think it's better off if you have the furthest distance away, so you have the better POV of your character. Attached target correction I have off. I'm not going to read through all these, but you can just copy them if you want. The ones that are really important are this to be active character, camera view, ally commands. I just have this as active character, and lock-on controls, I like to move enemies with left and right on the D-pad, and up and down is party members. And then, I'm not sure, I think it's this one, the camera view, ally commands. One of these affects when you're controlling Tifa and you're dashing away. We'll get to it. But when Tifa's dashing away, when I used to run this before, the camera used to turn around and kind of look from in front of her, and it was disorienting because you couldn't see where to go. Whereas now I've got it tweaked that if you just follow these settings, the camera will stay behind Tifa at all times, and it just makes it easier to see where to go. My advice also, combo targeting fixed, vibration off, that's personal preference for me, and screen shake off, I just advise everyone to turn that off at all times. It's nauseating. On PS5, graphic settings, performance mode, you want the 60 FPS or more if you can get it, but this game is optimal at 60. If you play this at 120 frames, like perhaps on PC or on PS5 with VRR, then some of the animations in this game are bound to 60 FPS, and if they are made faster with 120 FPS, then so for instance, one of Tifa's traversal techniques where she dashes, if you play in 120 frames, the dash distance is shorter but faster per dash, and she doesn't cover as much distance. So 60 FPS is like the sweet spot. I used to run this game on PC at 90 frames, but that's by the by. That was my sweet spot because of my PC, but anyway. So on PS5, you want performance mode. Everything else is up to you. Audio settings, completely up to you. So for languages, I think Japanese happens to be a little bit faster. But for this tutorial, and obviously if you're new, let's just go ahead and do it in English for the time being. The time that you would save in Japanese is kind of negligible, especially while you're new. I believe it would only be applicable if you're really trying to sweat Lord and go for world record. But otherwise, yeah, that's most of the settings. Then another thing I want to show is we're going to go through the weapons and equipment and the loadout and everything. This whole part 1 is going to be front loaded with all this information, and then we're going to be starting a run off, getting up to probably finishing chapter 7, so we'll do 1 to 7 today. The next part will be like 8 to 13, and then we'll finish the game on, say, 14 to 18 kind of thing. Something like that. I'm not don't quote me on it just yet, but... Okay, so let's go over everyone's materia and equipment. I'll explain what I use and why I use what I use. The only thing I'm not 100% sure on now, because it's been a while, is exactly which upgrade nodes I have taken per weapon. But there's only one thing that's really important to know about these in general. You can pretty much do them as you wish, apart from Tifa. Tifa on Metal Knuckles, I'll explain this first, it's kind of important. So with Tifa's Metal Knuckles, you need to make sure that you level it up manually and don't select the auto and strength, because it will just go ahead and choose all of the nodes it thinks are the best options. But we specifically want to ignore one ability, which is concentration activation 30%. If that activates, that changes Tifa's uppercut, her triangle move, to be, I think it's Rise and Fall or Omni Strike. It's been a while since I've used any of those now, casually. And this will mean that some battles will start and concentration will pop straight away. She will immediately have access to that new move, which is cool in casual combat. But when you, for example, you switch to her and you want to parry away, you have to waste this move first before you can start doing it, and it's time loss. So just go ahead and level Metal Knuckles manually for strength, attack power, whatever else you can get in, Bloodsucker, that's fine. Make sure you have 6 materia slots, as I have. Preferably for Tifa, all linked. They have to all be linked for Tifa like that. And just make sure you avoid concentration and activation. Everything else is up to you. You may even have more points than me, because I don't know if I've actually done everything on this save. Yeah, see, so if I had more points, I could get speed +4, you know, whatever. But it's not that relevant. We mainly just want the damage for her. She's not going to be concentrating on magic that much in this route. There are a few other routes you can do where you change her around to be a magic user. There's a few routes you can run this game. You know, your mileage may vary, but this is just my route that I've always run. This is what I kind of put together and learnt on console back in the day on PS4, and it's what I like, using techniques that I've learnt from people like the Sid, who runs hard mode, Catbus, and a few other people that used to speedrun this game on console. And I've accumulated all the strats over the years, and I'm one of the only active runners that still runs this game. I think the Sid does as well. So between a lot of the stuff that I've learned over the years, I've put together this route, and it's still mainly just my, like, for what I'm going to teach you today, is mainly my old school route. I've got like other top secret strats and routes that I haven't even tested yet, that some of which I think will be faster. But what I'm going to show you guys today is just an easy to follow, easy to pick up route and run that you can just, once you've tried it a few times, you'll be able to execute it, and it's pretty chill. A lot of it will be just learning what to use and where, because of you know, being new and remembering it all. I used to have to keep frequently looking at my notes, whereas now I run it and the notes are in my head. I know the notes, I am the notes. So alright, so let's break down each character. We'll start with Tifa. Make sure concentration activation 30% has not been learned, like we just went over. I'm also going to assume that you will have all of the accessories and armlets and things and materia that I show you today. Just you can start practicing runs, even if they're not maxed out or you don't have all of them. Just go ahead and, while you're practicing, unlock the rest of what you don't have and level up what you don't have while just learning the run. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that for the rest of this tutorial, you have exactly what I have. So I think I have more force bracelets. Like, I think I've done about 4 playthroughs or 5 playthroughs to get all the force bracelets. So you might have to do a couple of extra, or just for that chapter. I can't remember which one you unlock it on, but or whereabouts you can unlock it. It's been so long. So just go ahead and make sure you've got a few force bracelets, because everyone has a force bracelet equipped except one character who has the chain bangle. The only difference with chain bangle is it has more defense. I chose to give it to Tifa because she is my wife. So your mileage may vary. Go ahead and give that to Aerith or Cloud or whoever you want if you're new and you want Cloud to survive a bit more, because I kind of run him with lowish HP. And it is a bit scary in some of the later chapters. He can die, especially if you're new to the run. It's more scary on normal and above. This is tolerable because you can use items and you can bring it back, and it's not that big a deal. But because he only has 5,000 HP, some of the later bosses on the last few chapters can chunk him a little bit. So, but it's not that bad. Whereas on normal and above, you're more likely to get stunned and knocked down and damaged a lot as well. It's kind of the same, but quite a bit different. So, Tifa, just to reiterate this, Tifa has Metal Knuckles without concentration, as we've discussed, Chain Bangle, because I chose to give it to her, and Fury Ring. Aerith has Mithril Rod. Go ahead and, as I said, copy my numbers on the weapons as well to as near as damn it as you can, just because I'm not going to break down all of the nodes and what I have unlocked for each weapon. You can pretty much auto them, apart from Tifa, so don't worry about it. I'm just going to assume that you still have all of the weapons, or at least the ones that we're going to use. We're not going to change weapons during the run at all for anyone, so as long as you have this loadout, you're good. Mithril Rod, Force Bracelet, Fury Ring. There's a pattern here. Cloud has Buster Sword. He has 91 attack and 91 magic. You may say, oh, Hard Edge is more damage, right? Why don't you use that? On easy, it's not relevant. With 91 on Buster, that's good enough. His triple slash, which is a key technique and we're going to use a lot during the run, is a lot more damaging than you may think, and it will instantly, in most cases, especially in the early game, it will practically almost instantly put a boss into its next phase and health gate it. Because the first slash is usually, first or second slash is usually enough. The third one is overkill. The boss definitely if he lands all 3 slashes, the boss definitely goes into a health gate, which is like the no entry sign on their health. And that means you can't damage them any further and you have to watch it out and wait for the cutscene or wait for the phase shift. So there is really no need, on this difficulty, there is really no need to run Hard Edge or Mithril Saber for magic. He runs magic, and I use him quite exclusively with some magic. It's just magic and triple slash. But Buster Sword with 91 and 91, go ahead and level up your nodes to try and match that as close as you can. Even if you only get 75 and 75, maybe you need to finish some more hard mode and get the rest of the manuscripts. I'm just realizing that now. So above the little video of the ability being shown there is a display of which nodes I've actually activated. So you can go ahead and copy those to reference which ones to unlock on your weapon. If you're missing some of them, then there's probably some side missions or chapters on hard mode that you haven't finished yet. You're just missing a couple of manuscripts. So, but even if you had like 75, that's fine. That'll be enough for you to learn this and still copy this run. So yeah, Cloud has Buster, Force, and Fury. Barrett has EKG Cannon. He has this because it's his strongest magic weapon. I used to run Gatling Gun for the same reason as Cloud, to have the half and half, but it's not really needed. For everything I need him for is mainly magic based, especially in the early game. Force Bracelet, and then Gotta Damarung. Again, I'm going to assume that you have this. We have this on Barrett because it actually, in this route, on easy, it won't be used for quite a while. Probably like Airbuster, I think, is the first time we use it. Whereas on normal, he could use it on Guard Scorpion and a few other places. But it's still a good idea to just have it already equipped, because the way I load out my characters here, and the way I load out my characters with weapons and materia, is done in a way to which you won't have to menu until you meet Aerith in Chapter 8. Okay, so I'm going to go over the materia loadouts now. And another thing I want to mention is like the shortcut to get to the materia exchange menu, which is Start X R1. And that gets you into materia and equipment, and R1 on this page gets you to this old school exchange screen, reminiscent of Original 7. I'm going to read out the materia and what's equipped, and the gaps are intentional. They're there for a reason. You'll understand why once I go through these. So I'm just going to reel them off. go ahead and slow the video down or pause it and take notes and copy these down for your build. I'll say now, the summons don't really matter. They're just a slight buff in stats. So if I go to here and show you and go to triangle, so triangle on Cloud will bring you to this menu and you can do it manually. In this case, we can see how it adjusts our stats. So I can just show you as a breakdown here. This is why I have Bahamut equipped. The reason I have the summons equipped that I have are because I feel they're beneficial to the character that they're equipped to, because they buff magic for Aerith or strength and whatever you for Tifa, and you know, right? So yeah. All right. So first of all, Cloud has lightning materia and elemental equipped to his weapon. Then next he has a fire materia, deadly dodge, ATB boost, binding materia. Then on the bottom row on his armlet, he has first strike materia, ATB stagger, ATB assist, and steadfast block. Then as a summon, Cloud has Bahamut. Next, Barrett has lightning materia equipped to his weapon with a magnify materia maxed out as well, linked to it. So there he has lightning magnify. Magic up, wind materia, MP up, MP up. Then on his armlet, he has first strike materia, ATB stagger, luck up, and luck up. Those are luck increases. Luck is for crits, basically. I kind of give it to Barrett. You can also, if you've got space, you can give it to Tifa. But if you're going to copy this loadout exactly, you're not really going to have the space. Tifa doesn't need the crits outside of normal or above anyway, because she's already so powerful. So it doesn't really matter. That's why I just give them to Barrett. It's a waste otherwise. Tifa has fire materia equipped to her weapon and elemental linked. Then she has an ice materia, which is for chapter 13. Skill master, which fills ATB gauge when multiple commands are performed. She's beneficial for herself and for other team members. Time and warding linked. This is for Genova later on in the game. Then on her armlet, she has an empty slot, ATB stagger, lightning materia, and a parry materia. That's important. Tifa needs parry. Then for Aerith, on her weapon, the first slot is fire. The next slot is empty, ready to receive magnify later. Then moving on, she has lightning materia and an ice materia. Then she has MP up and MP up. And her armlet is empty with 2 slots, which will be replaced with first strike and ATB stagger later on in the game when we meet her. Then moving across, she has magic up materia and subversion materia. Oh, I forgot the summons. Barrett's summon is Chocobo and Moogle. Tifa has Fat Chocobo. And Aerith has Leviathan. As I mentioned earlier, I've given the summons that I have due to the benefit in stats that I feel like it gives, but it's kind of negligible for this difficulty. So yeah, copy this loadout. This is exactly what you're going to need to start off the run, really. The next thing we need to go over is battle settings. So I'm going to assume here that you're going to copy my exact control layout. It might, especially if you're brand new to the game, it might be easier if you do, because then it will be cohesive and easy to follow. And this is just what I've always used. It's comfortable for me. There's a theme within the control sets that I choose. So I'm going to explain everything, assuming that you're on my controls. So when I say like L1, L2, X, that means for Barrett to have done a thunder, and you've hotkeyed, switched to Barrett and done a thunder, right? And I will say it as well. I'll say Barrett Thunder L1, L2, X, but I'm just saying now that it's just, yeah, it would be beneficial if you do have the same controls as me. Feel free, if it's not comfortable, feel free to go ahead and change the controls, and just, you know, as long as you do the action that I do or use the ability that I use at that time, then that's fine. So with Cloud, I use limit breaks on L1 and square for the most part. So you're gonna want to change his limit from, if you have, I don't have Ascension unlocked, but you're gonna want to change his limit to cross slash. And then for L1 triangle, I use thunder. For L1 circle, I use triple slash. L1 X, I use fire magnify and limit break cross slash. Barrett, his is L1 square for catastrophe, L1 and triangle for Aurora, or Aurora, however you pronounce that. I call it Aurora. L1 circle for Thunderger Magnify, L1X for Thunder Magnify. Then Tifa, I don't really use... I use her limits manually, so I like to have dive kick on L1 square because I tend to do uppercut, which is triangle, into dive kick. Mid-air dive kick, so uppercut, L1 square, dive kick. That's just a strat I like to do. If in doubt, uppercut, dive kick it out, and you will get out of trouble. If the boss didn't die after you did the route, or you may did something wrong, or you missed a fire regger, uppercut, dive kick will probably save you. Basically, even on normal, I learned the run that I learned and the route that we're going to do, and at the end of every boss, I just executed my strategy, and then I did uppercut, dive kick just to finish it, and that usually just works. So, now, I have 2 useless binds for Tifa here, so you can feel free to change these to whatever you want. The 2 useless ones are Fyrigger and Fyra. They're still equipped for an old route in which I used to use magic with her. Now I dash away with her instead, and it's faster. So, you can, for triangle, you can feel free to change this to anything that you want. Limit break, whatever. Doesn't matter. You're not going to need the Fyrigger. We're going to use it manually anyway, the time that she needs to do it. The only one I really suggest making sure you have hotkeyed is Star Shower. It's a really important move for Tifa. The benefit to this move is that it not only is it really powerful, it looks awesome, and it also powers up the next move. It makes the next thing that hits the enemy do... I'm not sure if it's double damage, but let's just say it does more damage. A lot of damage. So, say for example, there's a strategy that I like to do called Catastrophe Shower, which Tifa sets up with the Star Shower, and then Barrett hits with a Catastrophe. They're dead. It's just GG, right? And then Fyra I have on L1 and X. This is another one of the disposable binds. Feel free to change this as whatever you like. Your mileage may vary. Again, I had Fyra from an old route. And Dolphin Flurry. You want Somersault. I still have Dolphin Flurry equipped for some reason. You actually want Somersault as your limit break because it's faster. If you're new to the run, go ahead and use Dolphin Flurry. It looks really sick, and it's really cool to finish Genova with. So it's up to you. If you're sweat lording and you want to be really fast, you want to do a speedrun, which is what you're here to learn, I guess, then use Somersault. But if you want to look cool, use Dolphin Flurry. We're doing a tutorial, we're going to look cool, so we're going to keep Dolphin Flurry today. It's not going to come up that much. Don't worry about it. But anyway, Aerith. L1 and square is Thunderger. L1 and triangle is Sorceress Storm. We use that precisely 3 times, I think, during the run. It's really cool when we do, because it like wipes all the enemies around her. L1 and circle is Fyra Magnify, and L1 and X is Fire Magnify. And then Planet's Protection or Healing Wind, it doesn't really matter. It's very rare that she's going to get hurt and or a limit break and or need to use it. So this one is completely up to you. You know, whatever one you feel more comfortable. If you want to use Healing Wind, like maybe for like Arsenal or something, sure. You can even go ahead and change it to Healing Wind for that fight if you want. Okay, so before we get into a run, or dummy run as it were, there are just a couple of key techniques that I want to show off before the run begins, which are relevant for later chapters, like chapter 5 and a few others after that, but I want to show them all now and front load this tutorial with all the key techniques and settings and loadouts all at the start. So, I'm going to go ahead and load chapter 5, so when we come back, you will join me with Cloud and Tifa, just about to hop off the train, so I can show you this technique that I call the parry whirl. See you soon. Alright, so I've loaded into chapter 5 here, just after the train sequence, so I can show you this technique, which is going to be using Tifa's parry ability. Now, we've equipped parry materia to her, and holding R1 with Tifa and hitting the circle button will allow you to parry. Like this. Right? And you can spam this to move around. This is what people call parry sailing. And you can also do different techniques with this and go further, because that is just R1 and circle. If you alternate R1, hold R1 and alternate circle, square, as long as you're not too close to an enemy, because she will try and target an enemy, she will slide and then attempt a punch. So she'll slide, attempt to punch, slide, attempt to punch. And I call that punch parry. And that one has a little bit of traversal range to it. So that there was an example of the punch parry, which we used to escape from that battle. The next thing I'm going to show is the final technique, which is the parry whirl. I call it the parry whirl. You could call it the whirling parry, but I think parry whirl also sounds cool. So what this does is it utilizes Tifa's uppercut. If you remember, we chose not to have concentration so that she always starts with whirling uppercut and not rise and fall or omni strike. This means now we can hold R1, and instead of just hitting R1 and circle or alternating, you can actually hold R1 and hit circle and triangle at the same time. Like that. And that is what I call a parry whirl. That is utilizing her whirling uppercut and parry at the same time. Because you're hitting them at the same time, she's effectively cancelling a parry with an uppercut, and then cancelling the uppercut with another parry. So you're just doubling down on the speed. And we use this technique for traversal in quite a few chapters to avoid battles. So you're going to see that come up quite a bit. So I wanted to, again, explain it early so you knew what the hell was going on when you see that happen. And on slower versions of the game, like the PS4, on 30 frames, that parry looks more like this.
We have a visual on the target. Requesting immediate assistance.
Because of the way the animations are sped up in 60, you can mash it and it goes this fast. Then we get punch parry, the alternate, and then parry whirl, which, as you can tell, is the fastest out of the lot. There we go. That was the parry whirl technique with Tifa. The other thing I'm going to explain now, early on as well, is Cloud's triple slash. Obviously, you've played the game, you understand the move, right? He hits 3 times with his sword. One thing that's important to know before we start the run, especially as we use it a lot in Chapter 1, is if there are 2 enemies and you use triple slash, Cloud will often hit the second guy 2 times. Essentially, he will hit the first guy, he dies. He will hit the second guy, he dies. And then he will kind of hit the second guy / whiff the third hit because he's already dead. So what we try to do instead of that happening is we try to whiff the first slash of triple slash, kill a guy with the second hit, kill a guy with the third hit, and then we mash circle basically and roll out of the animation. That way Cloud sheaths his sword quicker, and it's a faster animation than otherwise, basically. I don't know if I'm really going to be able to demonstrate that exactly here, but let's see.
It's them. We have a visual on the target.
Like that. Exactly like that. Whiff the first hit, and then kill a guy, kill the next guy, and then roll out of it. The fight hasn't ended, so Cloud hasn't sheathed his weapon, but you get the idea. So, yeah. That's pretty much the only 2 key techniques that you need to know about and use in the run is Tifa's parry whirl and how to manipulate Cloud's triple slash. The triple slash thing is negligible. It's just something I wanted to show because a lot of runners do it. It's something you'll see quite a lot and you might wonder about it. I wanted you to at least know about it, but don't fret if you're not getting it. Maybe you didn't whiff the first hit correctly because it takes us a while to judge the distance and learn. Don't worry about it. If you're just new, just triple slash who we have to triple slash. If you get the rollout, you do. If you don't get the rollout, then don't worry about it. It's no problem. Okay, with all that out of the way, the next thing we're going to do is start a dummy run. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be going from Chapter 1 all the way to the end of Chapter 7, finishing Airbuster. This will culminate at the start of Chapter 8 when we meet Aerith, so you can affectionately call this Aerith % today. Please do look forward to Part 2 and Part 3. As I said, I feel like it would be better to break it down instead of one long, huge tutorial. So, yeah. I will see you in a second, and we'll be starting a run. BRB. Alright, first before we start a run, we're going to load up a save in which we are going to start the run from. I'll also break down here the act of save loading, which is a technique that we're going to be using where we save the game and reload the game, and that will help us skip certain things like dialogue or opening long doors, things like that. Okay, so my advice is to make another save slot that you use specifically for save loads. For me, it's save number 3. So I'm going to load this right now, and then I'm going to save it again. It's already here, but you want to do this and save it so that it's in the top slot. That will make it easier for you to access. So we're just going to do that now. And then I'm going to load my normal file that I use for runs. Perfect. This way now, when we go to load a game, we have the save load as the first option, which is what you want. It just makes things quicker. So there's also a shortcut to get to the saving menu in this game. Instead of, much like a classic Final Fantasy, where you would have to press start, and on the menu go up, up, X, and then hit X again for save, and then down and save your game, what we can actually do for less inputs, when you're in the field like this, you can press start, then triangle, and it takes you directly to the save menu. Then you can press down and X to save your game. And then when you do a save load, this is how we get there so quickly. Start, triangle, save the game, circle, down X, X, up X to load the data. And then you've done a save load. So on chapter 1 here, where Jesse has to open the door and Barrett asks you about your rank and your age, we skip that. Because we do a quick save load, and it takes about 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and then the door's open and we run. So yeah, the purpose of this save is just to make sure that you have everything ready and everything equipped. This is the save in which you're going to be launching your runs from. I keep this separate from, obviously, my save load save. I have it down here at like number 5 or 4 or whatever. These are different ones. But yeah, I just save it on chapter 1. It doesn't matter where you have your save based. That's not a problem as long as you remember to load the right one initially so that you have all your correct equipment. And then just go ahead and double check you have everything equipped. If you've been following along, make sure you've got everything that we've gone over so far. There's the material loadout again. And then from here, system, chapter select, and select easy. I've just been reminded before we start this, another thing is skipping cutscenes. It's the only other like key technique in the game, which you would assume normally is start, down, X, skip the cutscene. But what you can actually do is you can hold down and then hit start X, and this will skip the cutscene on like the first possible frame. The only determining factor is the speed it takes you to go start X. If you can hit that quicker, it can be skipped quicker. But otherwise, if you're just beginning out, start down X, just as long as you skip the cutscene. You will notice as we go through, there are some that I'm ready to buffer that down, and I do start X. And there are some that I still just do kind of manually, if you will, right? Okay, with all that out of the way, let's start a run. So we're going to select easy, and away we go. First of all, as I explained, we're going to be skipping cutscenes, so I'm going to hit easy, and then I'm going to hold down on the D-pad, and immediately skip this following cutscene. For this first chapter, a lot of stuff happens quite fast, and I will be speaking quite quickly to try and keep up with everything that I'm doing. Apologies if I miss anything, but I'll try and cover everything, and I'm sorry that I'm going to be talking so quickly while I do this. Okay, do that, hold down on D-pad, skip cutscene. Hold forward and R1, skip cutscene, and then hold forward and square, and kill both of those guys. I use R1 to sprint, you can use L3 or R2. Skip here, hold forward, circle, and then hold square to use the deadly dodge in order to then roll and kill both of those guys. Skip this cutscene, roll away and up the stairs from these dudes, and then just run. Because if you get caught fleeing while rolling, it'll be slower to put the sword away. This way we flee as the cutscene starts. That's perfect. The cutscene with Wedge, I mean. Then here, we want to whiff the first hit the dog, hit the guy, roll away. Run along to the yellow and black beams, the stripy bars that are behind the fence there, and that is enough distance to trigger this sequence for you. Run into the middle of the elevator and mash triangle, and make sure you move on the PS5 version, just move away. I found that if you stay absolutely still there, you can get soft locked. He just gets trapped, and it's a reset. It's only happened to me on the PS5 version, but it happened consistently like 3 or 4 times in a row. Just by absolutely not moving. Then I like to stand here by the fence until Big says this way.
This way.
Okay, here we're going to triple slash everyone and then just move away. The distance in which Cloud triple slashes there is kind of random because he may get a better or worse spread on his attacks. Here we're going to whiff the first one. And then just mash circle to roll out of the last one. See, we even get ahead of Jessie there. Run past her and hold triangle to open this door. I'm not going to tell you how to suck eggs too much with every like input. You can follow along with what I'm doing, but go up left here and hit triangle. There are some things like that though where it's key that I tell you exactly which way to go. Triple slash these guys. You can roll out of it, then stand by this console and keep the camera looking this way. Now, there are many runners that usually choose to save load here to manipulate the lasers, but in all of my runs and all of my testing, I've never found it to actually benefit me. If anything, I've just found it to lose me time and still give me atrocious lasers regardless. So I choose to not do that, and I just stand this way, the old route, talk to Jessie, skip.
I got this place covered.
Skip. And then here we take control of Barrett. So we're going to do L1 and X to immediately thunder. Switch to Cloud, roll away, L1, L2, and hold it, and then X, and do a delayed thunder, like that. Then here, skip that cutscene, and these lasers, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, are RNG as fuck, you know? It doesn't matter, like now, look, we didn't do the save load, and we got perfect lasers. There you go. There it is right there. So that's, as I said, from my testing, I choose not to do it. If you get bad lasers or you hit them or whatever, don't worry about it. It's fine.
You're doing good.
They're a pain. It's just, it is what it is. Skip this cutscene. Then here, L1, L2, X, and try and roll past it if you can. Sometimes it pushes you back, don't worry about it. And then here we're going to do our first save load of the run. So we're going to come up here, press start, triangle, do our save load. I'm going to load the game. I'm going to do it slowly just to show you, but obviously the ones I do after this will be at normal speed. So that skips the whole dialogue about age and rank and having to wait for Jessie to open the door. So now we can just continue on. And due to the PS5 load times on the Intergrade version, it is a lot faster than the vanilla. Like on vanilla PS4, you can't do that. The load time would be like 45 seconds or something. It's an absolute waste of time. So these strats are really only applicable for Intergrade. And that is the same on, PC Intergrade or PS5, it's kind of the same. So here we're going to do a triple slash with Cloud, roll out of it. Then L1, L2, Thunder with Barrett. He will kill the last remaining enemies, the sentry turrets, and then we can carry on sprinting. That wasn't my quickest execution, but you get the idea. Some people roll away from that, but in my testing I found it always to be quicker to just kill them and run. And for a while, I held record for this individual level. I did for the first, like, 7 or 8, but somebody beat my chapter 1, and I still have, I think, 2 until 7 or something, 2 through 7. So here, we're going to skip this, select 20 minutes. Then what we're going to do is immediately triple with Cloud, switch to Barrett, hold square. If you don't already have full ATB, we did, so we're lucky, but just hold square to charge ATB after Cloud triple slashes him. Then here, we're going to do L1 triangle Aurora, and then hold square again. That will health gate the Scorpion Sentinel, and it charges us a load more ATB. In previous routes and on harder difficulties, we used to use Gotterdammerung there, like Catastrophe instead. But Aurora is enough on easy and normal, I think. So then here we're going to do L1X Thunder with Barrett. This will health gate the boss and skip tail laser. And we'll continue to hold square after that Thunder, as I did there, to grab another bar. Whoever has ATB here wins the fight. If Cloud, then use triple slash. If Barrett, then Thunder. If nobody, then you can do overcharge with Barrett. His triangle attack. So that fight is really free. So these next set of mono drives, I'm going to use that triple slash technique again. I'm going to whiff the first hit towards myself, and then hit the 2 enemies and roll out of the 3rd hit. That's what I'm going to try and do anyway.
Tough, but doable.
Not quite the right direction, but that's fine. That still works. Perfect. This enables us to get a little bit ahead of Barrett here. Sometimes you get vastly ahead if you perform that really well. It's not essential. Again, if you're just learning, like I'm kind of, even though this is a beginner's tutorial, I'm still showing you some of my intermediate to advanced strategies, like rolling out of triple slash, for example. It's not a big deal if you don't get it. Like I said earlier, don't worry about it, but I am going to show you. So even though, yeah, like I say, even though it is aimed at beginners, I'm going to just show you how I run this game, and I think beginners can still pick this up, even though I use some advanced strats here and there. It's no big deal.
You okay?
So another trick that you can use to learn the cutscene skips, like when the timing is for them, is your minimap. Your minimap will disappear when you're running into a cutscene like that with Jesse there, for instance. So that's how I'm able to be so ready on them. Just, like when the minimap disappears, it disappears first, then you're able to skip. So that's not the case everywhere, but for most of it, it is. You can line your camera up here and get a little bit of a push off Jesse. It doesn't really matter. Turn the camera here though. This is what I call a pre-pan. The camera's going to turn like you saw it adjust there on its own. It's going to turn to do that anyway. So if you pre-pan to where it's going to be, learn those shots, then it will stop any slowdown that can occur from Cloud stopping. So in this room, Cloud's gonna triple slash, I'm gonna switch to Barrett, hit triangle overcharge, switch back to Cloud, roll to the door, and it's gonna be, hopefully in one fell swoop, pretty seamless.
They're here! Take them down! We don't have time for this shit! The clock's ticking!
Excellent. Now Barrett carries us all the way out of the reactor. L1, L2, X here, Thunder Magnify. He's dead. There's a small chance you get a low damage roll and he doesn't die, but Barrett will shoot him to death afterwards anyway, so it'll just take an extra second or two. Here, you can triple slash these guys and then roll out of it and thunder with Barrett. Sometimes Cloud will kill all of them anyway. If not, then just do it like that. It's fine. There's only some slight little alterations of how things can go. L1, L2, X, Thunder Barrett there for that guy. And the same thing here all the way through. Get up to here, L1, L2, X for Barrett. L1, L2, X for Barrett again. Excellent. Then leave. So sorry, when I say L1, L2, X for Barrett, I mean L1, L2, X for Barrett, the hotkey which commands Thunder Magnify. But it's hard to say all of that every time. And yeah, there's chapter 1. Fun fact, here on the PS4 version, there was less volumetric fog. They added lots of volumetric fog and bloom lighting and things on the Intergrade version. I actually think the PS4 version looks nicer in this room. And I compared this myself between one of my Intergrade runs and one of my PS4 runs. And yeah, I still think it looks nicer without the fog, in my opinion. Just a slight observation from someone that has hundreds of hours in this game.
I've never smelled anything so foul. Oh, it's me. Gotta do something about it.
But once you learn it, this run on this difficulty is pretty comfy, pretty cozy. Something to do on a Sunday night if you're bored. You know, if you've got nothing to do and you're going to sit down and play this for 5 hours anyway, then feel free to try and do a run. Why not?
They just keep on coming.
We need to get out of this place.
And it's not very fragile, like there's not many places you can really die. There's auto saves, you can just try again. If you mess up in a battle, you can select to retry from the beginning. So, like on Hell House, for instance, I had like a PS4 PB back in the day, where I accidentally healed Hell House, and I had to retry the fight, change my materia, and then continue again. Like retry the, actually start the fight again. It's kind of annoying, but
I'll set the bomb.
lesson learned.
Can't wait to see you, Marlene.
You won't have to worry about that, don't worry. Hell House is pretty easy now, I know how to deal with him.
She's good.
Slight pre-pan here.
Attention.
We'll split up and shoot for the last train home. Regroup in the freight car.
So the main other thing in this category to remember is just where to go. Just remembering your route and where to go on each screen and all that kind of stuff, really.
Once we're back at base.
Wait till he finishes talking, then you can sprint. Stops you from getting pushed back. for trying too early.
Okay.
Then one other thing I'd like to mention is dialogue skips are done with triangle and circle in this game. For a kind of weird placebo, I like to mash both of them. I alternate them because I feel like if I'm not pressing one button, I'm pressing the other. I think the dialogue skipping is probably capped at a certain speed anyway, so I'm probably just doing myself a disservice at that point. But I just thought I'd let you know that that's how I do it. If you're also not sure if you're in a cutscene, you can mash triangle, and in the bottom right corner, I'll show you... I don't want to show you here, I'm going to skip this one and just tell you. Okay, so in the bottom right corner, if you're not sure you're in a cutscene, you can mash triangle, and you'll see a skip prompt in the bottom right corner. And that's how you can like double check, oh, cutscene, yep, skip. Don't hold that triangle prompt though. Holding the triangle prompt for cutscene skips is vastly slower than just doing start down X. Or holding down and doing start X. Now you're just gonna walk along here. I will mention a little skip that is kind of impassable. It's like frame perfect. And it's based on that bridge cutscene that we just skipped back there. If you skip it, I believe it's in the first like 3 frames or something, then you can despawn Sephiroth in this next part, because we can only walk at this speed here. But you're going to see, after we see him in this alleyway here, that we now have even slower walking speed. And then in the next alleyway, after the fires and everything in a moment, when we return to normal, we'll only be able to walk that alleyway, and then you'll be able to run at the end. But if you get the perfect skip, we call it the Sephiroth skip. If you get the Sephi skip, I've had it on a PC run. I can like link it in the description. I'll never beat that chapter 2 ever again. But if you get the skip, you can sprint along here, and then you just walk for 1 step and then sprint again. But as I didn't get it, and you're not going to probably get it, I'm just telling you of its existence. You're probably never going to land it. It might be 1 out of 10 times that you get it. There were speculations in the community and with other runners that it was frame rate based. So some runners tested it on like graphics mode and tried to do it in 30 frames and things like that. My Sephi skip that I got on my PC PB was at 90 FPS. So I know it's not that. Pre-pan here, that's when then we learned that it was pretty much based on like perfect frame skip, rather than it being to do with the frame rate. Think of it like doing like a perfect link in Street Fighter, or like an electric in Tekken, I guess. Like a just frame. Okay. Run around here on the inside, and then at the bicycle, skip cutscene. Like that. Excuse me, I have an itchy nose, so I might be slow today. I think I'm catching a cold. I do apologise. Right, so just skip, press X and select the first option, and then skip cutscene, and then roll down right. Then if you soft lock, this is a soft lock. If I press R3, it will say locked on. This is what I call a soft lock. When you're soft locked to an enemy, you can press attack and then roll immediately out of it before you make contact. Kind of like that. That was almost too early. Then roll past these guys. What I mean is, let me see if I can retry this, because from further away, you get some traversal off of that. Oh god. Don't actually know which way this... Oh, you have to run up to Aerith here, right? Yeah, okay. Didn't know where we were there. Okay, so skip that, and then hold down right and roll. And then when you soft lock, you can even hit the guy and roll off of him, that's fine. Accidentally hit the second guy there, but you get the idea. Then as you're rolling up here, target the dog, triple slash him, and then roll out of the last hit. These guys are weirdly health gated, so you'll do this, and he just cannot be killed now. And I don't know why, even to this day, why this happens. But as soon as he's able to be killed, then just kill all of these guys. Then you want to roll over to here and hit Punisher Stance. Mash square on this guy, and then triple slash at the end, and you'll kill both and still have good ATB. Then come over to here, lock on this guy, and be very careful here with your lock on, because sometimes the game likes to target the wrong guys. So just clear up all of these with a couple of slashes or another triple slash if you have ATB. There's kind of some adapting that you can do as you're playing this, because you may not have ATB there or whatever. But if you followed it exactly as I do, then you should have had the ATB that I had. For the most part. Oh. Made a mistake there. don't get bonks on the box. Make sure you go around the box. Unfortunately for me, it's actually been a while since I played this. So I'm a little bit rusty recording this tutorial, so I will apologize, but I am going to link my runs in the description. They will have just been posted. They were done in November when I was fresh at the game. Sorry, I'm not immediately sliding, so I'm itching my nose. So here, using the soft lock, we're going to attack and then roll out of it. And just keep rolling. And I'll show you another technique here, which I call the combat roll, or cannonball cloud, which is just hitting roll and attack at the same time. And much like with Tifa's technique, he actually like cancels his roll with an attack. Then we just roll normally, attack, roll, cancel, just roll normally. If you get a good lock on a dog, then you can roll cancel off of a dog. Then here, combat roll to try and get into this next cutscene while still in the fight. Perfect. Then turn away and just concentrate on these dudes. Try and get a lock. Triple slash this guy. Then you should immediately ping off and kill the last shield dude. Then lock the huntsman. And then just fire him and he's dead. You don't need to kill the other guys up the other end at all. Yeah, sorry if I'm rusty at any of this. Like I said, my runs were done in November and it's now the middle of January. So yeah, it's been a while since I actually played, but I still wanted to record this tutorial and get it out in February before Rebirth. I was meaning to do it sooner, but obviously the holidays and everything came up. So you can hold up and left here, and sometimes you can get out of there and get ahead of Biggs, but it never really happens, so don't play for it. Go around these guys, but stay close to Biggs, ahead of Kyrie before she gets out. And then we just need to tuck round those dudes. Perfect. You might bonk on those two guys. Don't worry about it if you do. Like, if you get kind of stuck there, you can just kind of push them out of the way afterwards. When the camera transitions, that's a cutscene, so that's when you can skip. It sort of pulls away from you. You can kind of feel it, or you can mash triangle to confirm it with the bottom right prompt. I'll show you what I mean about the triangle prompt when we talk to Jessie here, when we go into this next cutscene. So you stand on the left, get ready to talk to her. Then, if you see me mashing triangle here, this is how you know you're in a cutscene. So, yeah. Now we're on chapter 3. So the first two chapters are kind of thick and fast. Excuse me while I have a drink break. But chapter 3 is really chill in comparison. You also have to excuse if I'm not immediately skipping a cutscene because I'm trying to explain something, but I'm sure that's obvious. Or especially if I'm drinking, but you know, you will take your drink breaks more wisely in the run, as I do in my runs, but for the sake of the tutorial, if I need to have a break at any point, I'll take it, because I can, which is nice. So just follow your way all the way up to here. We're just going to be spending time with Tifa now. Walking along, there's just a couple of walking chats to do, some dialogue skips and whatnot, and then there's a couple of battles at the end of this chapter, but nothing that major.
You're such a kidder.
I don't know. It sounds like an accident to me.
I'm slow off the mark with all this stuff because I have the most ridiculously itchy nose right now. It's doing my head in. Alright, skip this cutscene, and then go to Marlene here and do a save load. And then talk to her, and then skip cutscene.
Daddy?
Then each time you go out with Tifa here, just bonk this stool. It just gives Tifa enough time so you don't bump off of her and whatnot. Okay.
Before we get there's an empty I was thinking the landlady's
Sure.
And now we start dialogue skipping.
How was it up on the plate?
Only a little bit.
It was
When the
chaotic.
exploded. Sorry for
So you can go ahead and release sprint here. So in this game, there are 3 sprint buttons. L3, R1, and R2. R1 has to be held. R2, I think, has to be held. And L3, you can just press. And then you'll be sprinting. I like it to be manual, and because of all my Resident Evil runs, I always use R1 as sprint in those games, so it became like a muscle memory. So this game having R1 as sprint was super comfy for me.
I'll give you that.
Obviously, your mileage may vary on what you choose to use as your sprint button. Try not to get too close to Tifa here, because you'll bump off of her and lose time. So I kind of sandbag my movement just ever so slightly, just going a little bit wide just to let her stay ahead, but also we're heading for these stairs. So this has worked out kind of lovely. even just by a little bit of swerving back there, but it's not that major.
And here we are, good old Stargazer Heights. You're on the second floor.
This is what I call an optional save load. On PC, you can definitely do it because we use load remover. But you can save load this dialogue here, but I don't think it's really worth it on PS5. Especially as well if you're new, and like me, I'm rusty in the time I fumble that menu. But you can stand out in the middle here and get a favourable bump off of her to start this conversation earlier. That's what you definitely can do. If you don't get it, don't worry about it. These are all... The main little tricks or little exploits or things in this run are all what I call nano saves. They save like half a second if you get it. It's not even a big deal. Like I said, if you're new, then don't worry about it. Like, I'm just going to explain it like I would, and just, but also, yeah, don't worry about so many of these things if you don't get them. It doesn't mean shit, basically. Another, I didn't mention it earlier when I was talking about, like, the long speedrun stamina thing, but another part of that is just learn to finish runs. Like, when you're new and you start doing runs, then just get used to just finishing the whole game. When you're at that level of doing a whole run anyway, not before. If you're still learning and you're learning in chunks like we said earlier, then, or, you know, so be it, of course. But when you start actually trying to attempt runs, then just try and finish runs, no matter how good or bad. That's another good piece of advice. If I'm not telling you exactly where to go or what to do, just follow where I'm going and what I'm doing. I'm not going to completely drone everything, even though you may think at this point you already have, but still.
Seeing as you didn't bring any luggage.
So you're going to come around here and stand on this little pallet. And we're just going to wait for Tifa to run ahead. I used to try and pull her ahead of me, like if I sprinted to the weapon store, but it's actually quicker to let her go first.
Some creepy dude. All the items you could want, straight from the plate. No matter your needs.
Hey there. Here to change out your water filter.
Tifa, babe.
Cloud's in charge.
Sounds like a... In your dream. Huh?
Cloud!
Suppose I could take a look.
Just go and mash through everything here.
Okay? And let us know.
All the items you could want, straight from the plate.
He's a regular.
For you, man.
Well...
To get free shit.
Our next stop...
Just met her.
Then you know what to expect. Remember, she's a good...
Can't help but take a little pleasure in their panic.
More than a little.
Apparently it was done by a terrorist group called Avalanche.
So yeah, there's not much to say on some of these chapters when it's just dialogue skipping.
Working?
Be nice.
You better.
I'm pretty good at
That
This just comes in with the advice of just learn the run. You know, obviously learn your routes, learn where to go,
Thanks.
and get used to doing this. Like, there is a bit of like, there's something to be said for having stamina to mash dialogue. I also run other Final Fantasy games, so...
She helped get me
I'm
set
used to
up
it.
back in the day.
But when you're with Tifa here, try and cut to the left of her, and we're going to try and break away from her to move into... Hopefully we get a sprint. And then this time we do pull her to the store.
The weapon store.
Hey, if it isn't Tifa.
And then what we do here is we actually teleport her to this cutscene,
We're so sorry.
and it's a little bit faster. Again, if you don't get it, don't worry about it. When I was new, I wasn't getting that little trick either.
Seeing as we're done.
Well,
That one saves about 5 to 10 seconds, I guess.
It's not what. Yep.
how do I start? Yeah.
Didn't see anybody at the office. So let's hit
No
up.
better way to keep you and your
Roger
family
Craig Smith,
and with a weapon of your own. Come and check out our selection.
Chris Redfield.
We gotta do something about the monsters on
Alright, skip this.
Scrap Boulevard is out west. Past the barricades, supposed to keep the monsters out. Anyway, we should prepare, just in case.
Alright, here we're going to be employing our triple slash into rolling strategy again.
Good luck, Tifa, and be
There's about 3 or 4 encounters we need to have here, and we're just going to do the same thing every time. Triple slash, roll out. Like, whiff the first hit, hit the second and third hit on the enemies, and then roll. Didn't get the roll? Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. If you got it, you got it. Awesome. If not, then it's cool.
So that's what a soldier looks like in action.
Got it that time. Awesome. Just means he sheaths a little bit quicker. It saves like 0.5 seconds. It's not even a big deal. Didn't get it at all there because he immediately like dived on them. That's fine.
You're good at this. Charging.
And I'm just going to show that it's like A lot of the strategies, even in this run, are super consistent, but there are sometimes stuff just doesn't work or just doesn't go to plan. And whatever, free time save for next time, don't worry about it, especially if you're new.
Trust me, it'll do wonders for your rep. Right.
There are other ways to completely deal with this chapter as well. On an individual level basis, you run different loadouts with characters because you can. So I use Tifa as the leader there, and I parry whirl her away and tell Cloud to thunder everything. And that's actually faster, but it's not worth setting it up on a full run like this. So we just do the old school triple slash. And again, especially for you guys that are just learning the run, then just triple slash. Dialogue.
Come on.
Who?
The guy who tracked.
Where's he at?
Oh, he should be back at the office by now. What?
So now we have to go and deal with everyone's favorite 2 original Final Fantasy VII characters that were definitely in the original.
Actually,
I hate these guys.
Your clients.
Thanks.
So that's Weimer, then we speak to Chodley,
You were the first. I have developed new material. I'll keep repairing more
and
batteries.
then Pre-Pan to Tifa.
that went well.
Sure.
Think of each job.
It's not what you... Not a patient team. Oh boy.
Oh, there.
I hear you sell.
Okay, then we're going to go this way. You can go left here and then straight, but I like to go straight and then left. Again, your mileage may vary on this part. It doesn't really matter that much. You go into the same place anyway, so... I think my route might be the quickest way. That's pretty much why I go that way. Mash circle for that dialogue. Just so you don't get stuck in a menu or anything.
Did he go overboard again?
Then here, there's a chance that Tifa can run. See there, she ran quite close to the sign. There's a little minigame I like to play when we run into this little section past the green boxes there, called Fast and Slow Tifa. Sometimes she stops running and then walks most of the way to the sign, and sometimes she runs most of the way up and just walks a little bit to the sign. It really depends. It's like RNG. Again, little nano saves and whatnot. Can't do anything about it. As far as I know, there's no way to manipulate it.
Citizens don't steal blasting, Agent. So why don't you tell me why your ID popped when we were going over the warehouse logs?
Huh? You got it all wrong. I've never gone anywhere near a Shinra warehouse. My ID.
Your ID was never lost, John. It never got you inside a Shinra installation in the first place. But don't you worry. We'll take all the time we need to help you get your story straight.
I swear.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, you distract the officers and I'll...
So now for this next fight, the spread of enemies can vary, but you're gonna just triple slash, and the only thing that can really happen or change here is that the dog jumps far away, and then you lose time because Cloud has to dive on him, and then you have to walk back to Johnny. But basically, just triple slash. So there we got unlucky. She just killed it, so I can't retry the fight. But yeah, there we go, you get unlucky. Sometimes you immediately triple slash and take care of everyone. We can't have it all.
We need to go before they...
I'm not going to farm for a perfect run in this tutorial, especially for little things like that. I kind of want some little things to go wrong almost, so that I can just show you that it does happen, and that sometimes there are some little memey things like that that you can't do anything about. Like the positioning of those enemies.
So...
It's more consistent to use Fire Magnify there, because that will explode and hit everyone. But we're not set up for that with this route, so don't worry about it. There's going to be a lot of me saying don't worry about it, but yeah, it is what it is. You can't go mad and go resetting the run half hour in or whatever it is at the 20 minutes in just for silly things like that, especially if you're just learning.
And here we are.
Oh, this is not what I think that is. My bad. Let's mash this dialogue here, and then...
I see. In that case, one...
Here, you want to go down and X for no. This game does this to you a lot, where down is yes. In this instance, down is actually no, and that is what we want. But there are other options, like when we speak to Jesse in a bit, where it will say no and yeah, and you have to go down for yeah, and I've lost time there because I've mashed, and then I've, like, realised it's the wrong answer, and I'm like, oh crap, and I just lost 5 seconds. So, yeah, proceeding at this point will prevent you, yep. Then this is a cutscene, immediately skip. Yes, skip.
Could still kill some time.
Then here you're going to go over to the dartboard. and just mash circle to get out of it. And then stop playing yes.
Maybe just chill a bit.
Skip that dialogue, and then go over here, wait for Tifa, yes. And then get ready to skip a cutscene. I like to hold down here and wait for the white light on the right of the screen. There. Fun fact about this part. If you play this in Japanese, they say kanpai, which means cheers, instead of avalanche, which means avalanche, funnily enough.
What's up with them?
So here... Oh, doing the wrong thing. Press triangle on this guy, skip this cutscene, and then walk ahead of him and pull the camera like this, so you're looking down. And you're going to use this guy to boost you ahead. These guys are called hoodlums, but I like to call them bandits, because I refer to this trick affectionately as the bandit boost. But you're going to use these amigos to push you along, and it just saves a couple of seconds because they will kind of rubber band ahead of you, and yeah, it's like the fastest way you can get along is if you're pushed by these guys. See?
Word of advice, Blondie. Don't piss off my friend.
Again, if you don't get it, don't worry about it. But if you watch too much of that cutscene, if you watch all that cutscene natively, like casually, this isn't possible. Because that guy starts off inherently quite far ahead of you automatically. But if you skip, then you're right next to him and you're able to do it. So here you're going to skip and triple slash.
Big man with a big guy here. Bring it.
I tried to roll out of it, but it didn't work. If you get lucky on a good spread, like you hit 2 or 3 guys with one slash, then, like the first slash, you can then roll out of the final slash again. Sometimes it goes super perfectly. You get a good spread, good triples, and a rollout, and you're right by the exit. But it is what it is. I'm not going to sweat about it, and neither should you. This isn't a PB sweat lord attempt, this is just a tutorial, and if you're new, then, you know, that's going to be definitely good enough. Just triple slash them and get out. GG's. I'm trying to, like, make sure to remember not to be too self-critical of myself, because I'm not trying to do a PB, so it doesn't matter.
You all set?
So this is down for yes.
Awesome.
Again, that's where I lost time there before. That was a couple of PBs ago, or whatever, one of my PC PBs. Alright, skip this, we're on chapter 4. For this category in the speedrun, we skip the bike minigames on chapter 4 and chapter 18. So to do this, you're going to do start, down, X, up, X. It's like a little combo. Like that. That was it from fresh. Then hold down and start X, start X. Then walk along, wait, then walk again. Just let Wedge be ahead of you. Oh, I got stuck on the stairs anyway. So as long as you don't bump him, there's a chance then that you can get ahead of him. Not with a little sprint boost like what happened to me there. I don't usually get that happen, so that's new. What normally happens is he just moves out of your way. As long as you haven't bumped off of him, it will push you back if you do. So as long as you haven't bumped off of him, that's why I say to wait. Then when he moves to the right, you can often move into the left and take a nice line. It's just, again, it's a nano 2-second thing. Like, as long as you get here and do the switch, who cares, right? But there are little memes that can happen in this run that are just ever so tiny. Again, I'm just telling you them for the sake of observation, not that you have to adhere to all of them. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to run along here and follow Jessie. And wait till she starts talking and then do a save load.
Figures.
There's a few of them that we do on this chapter. Then, there's some RNG here for Wedge. His AI sometimes goes crazy and he just doesn't go to the right spot and he'll like walk off over there somewhere. But hopefully he goes into the right spot here. But you want him to just all nestle in like this and then wait like 1 or 2 seconds until Jessie starts talking. Or you can move before and then go and stand at this spot here.
Okay.
And then get ready, hold down on D-pad because you can buffer some cutscene skips here.
With your
Perfect. Not my quickest skip, but it doesn't matter. You would be surprised as well how much time you save learning where all the cutscenes are and getting quicker skips. Just again, every little nano, you know, every little helps kind of thing. Every little one that you, when you get quicker at the game, you'll save more time and you'll be like, that run was the same. But your cutscene skips will be fresh because you'll be on top of the game. That's why, again, I'm a bit slow today, but...
Sorry about dropping in like this.
But as I'm recording a tutorial. Like I said, I'm not sweating it too much. The point is to show you guys how to do it, not for me to exactly be a supreme master at it right now. You know, not when my PBs exist. Not that I was a supreme master at it then, but I'm just saying. In comparison, I was at the time. But this game for me, because I've done it so much, I can always execute it. It may not be as fast every time, if you know what I mean, even if I've had like a long break, but I can usually always just do the run. I've done it a lot. It's a comfy run that I still have a lot of muscle memory for. Then just walk to the fence here.
Mission accomplished.
And get ready for cutscene.
Jesse's dad was in there.
Then here, do a save load for Biggs' speech. And I like to stay on the right side here, just to keep Wedge in the lead without him having to stop too much. And when he says Jesse's got a theory about it, and explains about how, you know, her dad, what was it, her dad's spirit has returned to the heart of the planet or something. When he says Jesse's, we're going to do another save load and skip this dialogue as well.
Jesse?
Here we go. God, my save loads are really slow today. I'm just trying to make sure to execute them properly and not screw up the inputs. So, you know, even if I'm a little bit slow, I'd rather do it a little bit slowly but not mess it up. So you want to go and stand right near this last storm drain. Perfect.
Marco's is not something.
And obviously that's why I stand out of the way so he doesn't bump off of me and slow him down.
This guy.
Hey, it's the lot Jesse was talking about. We rendezvous here when we've got what we came for.
Gotta stay hidden. Wait for.
Hey man, the plaza's that way. Warehouses are further in. Jesse's supposed to be circling around from the back, right?
Alright, here we just want to talk to Biggs.
I can handle this.
Mash this out.
Don't expect me to.
If you need to check.
You can use that vending machine over there to stock up.
And then turn around and do the same thing again, basically.
Guess there's a training center too. Could go a few rounds before the main event.
Man,
Perfect.
I get really hungry when I'm nervous. When you leave something at home,
Remind me, there's no
vending machine.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go.
And then skip. And then here for this courtyard, I've got a pretty nice strategy for this. I kind of like the way that I do this, because I've routed it in a way where it will set you up with the exact ATB that you need to always take down Roche really quickly and easily. So, here, roll and immediately kill these guys, kill this guy, slowly move over and kill every one of these guys with attack roll cancels, and then roll. We can lock this guy, and we can attack roll cancel to get closer to them. Like that. Then here, stay locked onto these guys, do the same thing. Just going to wipe all of these out, make sure they're all dead. Good, they are. Sometimes they survive. And then here, just use the soft lock to roll cancel up to that guy. It wasn't the best execution. Again, you can check my PB, but the idea is there. Alright, skip this. Roll left, hold square to kill the shield guy from behind him. Then you can just roll over to this way. Get on the stairs here just to avoid the missile. Yeah, there it is. Then kill these dudes. Go ahead and hit Punisher stance if that guy starts to attack you, the shock trooper. But the main thing is don't waste an ATB there. I could have triple slashed, right? You know, why didn't I triple slash? But I just killed the first guy manually. And then Punisher countered the shock trooper. This enables me to have 2 bars here without ATB boost. Triple the dogs, roll out, turn around, triple the dogs. You can roll out of that one. I actually missed the first dog first, but it doesn't matter. Skip this. Then here, lock onto this guy, Punisher stance, mash square, and just murder it. Then, attack this one, ATB boost, Punisher stance, and murder it. Perfect, now you have everything you need for Roche. Then here, you're going to go ahead and just buffer a manual firer. That's phase 1. You can probably get away with fire because of the Buster Sword, but just to make sure there's no inconsistencies, just go ahead and always use fire. And then you're gonna mash the same thing with the you're gonna mash the same ability with the cursor in battle remembering, right? That was hard to English, you know what I mean? Because the cursor remembers what we use in battle, I was able to just mash X, 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 and it do fire. That's what I was trying to say.
So, are we not gonna wait for Wedge?
If we stuck around or went back, he'd only get upset.
So again, part of the reason why I use Buster Sword is because I used to run this on easy and normal. I still kind of run normal, but not as much. I kind of prefer easy. There's less memes. And I always used Buster and Fyra because it helped me take down, like, Roche here very easily and quickly every time, and Reno in Chapter 8.
So, how do we get back to the slums?
With a little trick I've been dying to try out.
So there's a little meme that can happen with Jessie here, where she can get out, run away, and then run back, and then have to walk normally. We're going to hope that doesn't happen. I actually don't know how to control it, to be honest. Like, just sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So there she's running away, then she's going to have to walk back, and then now she has to start her walk normally. That loses you however many seconds that takes her to do that. As far as I know, it's unavoidable. I've had it happen, I've had it not happen. I do not know how to control it, however, at all.
There has been no attack. For your safety, please go home and remain indoors until further notice. An emergency has been declared.
So you just want to go ahead and run down here. And just stack up on this door.
Right, this is it.
Jessie will push you out of the way.
We're home free.
Where exactly?
Slash phase through you.
When we get there,
You'll know. Now there's a little tiny nano trick you can play for here called the Wedge Boost, where you use Wedge's rubber banding AI to boost you along. I didn't get it at all. He went straight past me on the other side. He's usually on the left. But there are some instances where he can pull you along. I wouldn't advise playing for it. Like, you're better off just making a consistent, decent line every time. Because you can't guarantee that you're going to get it. Look how wild he's gone now. Sometimes he's lagging behind, and it's just, yeah. They rubber band so hard, but you can get like a nice little boost off it, so you can feel free to try for it, but it's not going to help you that much. It exists. Right, after this bit, there's a cutscene. After this loads. Now we're back in the slums.
Made it back safe?
I guess.
Cool if we check on them? We'll pass by their places anyway.
Sure.
You saw it too, right? Over Scrap Boulevard? Quiet out here.
got new numbers for Monster Slain.
So yeah, it's pretty chill. There's a lot of action at the start, a lot of action at the end of the run, but this like still early game, early to mid game is pretty chill for the most part now.
Me wanting to leave Midgard didn't go over.
Word is, former reactor.
I stayed up all night thinking about the reactor bombing.
This is where lots of... I'm telling you.
They know about you.
Nah, it's all a game.
You lost me.
Life's a stage and love's the play.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, not much to explain here. Just mash through the dialogue with Wedge. And follow him around here. Then we're going to be going back to Jessie's and then going back to our room.
Aw, I missed you too. Oh, big
So take a left here. Go to Jessie's. Skip. Whatever option, skip. And then left. And I like to cut across this route past Biggs here. Because it's more direct.
You think that statement Avalanche put out is the real deal?
Really hope the trains will be running tomorrow.
Alright. Then we're going to choose rest. Is it rest or... sleep until tomorrow? Yeah, sleep until tomorrow, sorry. First option. Hold down on D-pad, skip cutscene, keep holding down, skip cutscene. Then here, with these whispers, there is a chance you can kill all of these in one fell sweep. And if you do, it will stop any subsequent other specters from spawning. There are some strategies that hard mode players use where they roll to a certain position and use Blizzara Magnify or something. I actually don't know them, and I just YOLO this with triple slash every time. If we happen to wipe them out and not get the second wave, happy days. If we get the second wave, then we can just attack a little bit, ATB boost, and use another triple slash. It's no big deal. But for all intents and purposes, we're going to triple slash and just see how we do. So there we only got one wave. Perfect. Then we move on. But you might end up getting additional specters, and like I say, just attack a little bit. You might even have just built up a bar by then, or immediately expend your ATB boost and triple slash the next wave.
Stop us from reaching the others? Cloud, this way.
That's one of the only little exceptions in the game that I can think of right now where something like that actually happens. Then here there's like a deceptive cutscene skip. It makes you think it's a cutscene that you can actually skip, but you can't. I'll show you what I mean here coming up. So here it looks like you can skip here, but you can't. You have to wait for this part with Barrett. Like that first initial bit of this cutscene, even though it says you can hold triangle, you can hold triangle because by the time you held it to its completion, we would be at this part and it would skip correctly. But that is slower than waiting for this screen transition from fake cutscene to real cutscene when it's right up here, when it switches, what I call switching to Barrett. When it switches to this like transition, this is when it's a cutscene and you can skip. So then here, what you're going to do with these specters, sorry for pausing these, but it's just I need to explain them in time. Again, you can compare this to one of my PBs to just see how I do it in real time. Sorry about that. But it's integral that I stop and break down what I'm going to do. So, again, there's other specters here, but there's the main one in the middle that we need to concentrate on. What I'm going to do with Cloud is I'm going to triple slash with him, and we're going to switch to Tifa and buffer an uppercut with triangle. And if done correctly, if Cloud doesn't finish the correct specter with a triple slash immediately, then Tifa's ready to uppercut it. There we go. It's just like a safety buffer. I do that with there's a few things in the game where we do a little safety buffer like that, that if A doesn't work, B will kill them, sort of thing. That is like a nice little contingency strat.
All right. Sure.
Huh?
So, and this now is coming to the end of chapter 4. Mash through that dialogue, and then we're running to the train station.
Just got done talking.
Shinra's gonna stop him, right?
Avalanche is the real enemy, I say.
Moving down under it's the hideous slum slider. Bombs and stuffers.
So yeah, sorry, there's going to be some dead air. I'm not going to treat this like I would if I was streaming. Well, I am going to a little bit, but I'm going to keep trying to talk and whatnot. But at the same time, there are some periods where there's going to be dead air where I don't have much to say, and it's just a case of like do what I do or go where I go, like I mentioned earlier. Just because like these parts, for instance, there's not much to tell you. Just go this way, and then get on the train. You know, I don't want to tell you how to suck eggs too much, but I do want to help you learn how to run the game, obviously. So yeah, that's the end of chapter 4. Now we're on chapter 5. So you know these handrail things, these like rounded handles? If you save load like here, this is nearly on the pixel. There's like a particular pixel. See, now we can't do it. You can get a save load there that basically skips these next two sequences and puts them together. But it's pixel perfect, don't worry about it. It's one of the hardest, one of two of the hardest save loads in the whole game that are basically pixel perfect. If you get it to work, don't worry about it, just don't worry about it. If you ever got it to work, it would combine this red scan sequence with like the other thing, and you'd immediately be in the conversation with Tifa while the red scan is happening. We don't get it, don't worry about it. But just stand behind Tifa. Because then, when she starts this next dialogue, she, like, shakes and immediately interacts with you quicker than if you were in front of her. It's a weird one, but it works. It's not only just, look, we're immediately talking to her. It's not only just for me to stare at Tifa, even though it looks like it is, but I promise there's actually a strategy there. If you try that from looking from front on, the screen will shake, and there'll be like a 2-3 second pause before you can actually talk to her. It's weird. As soon as you've done this and you see that materia after this Barrett cutscene, that materia is my visual cue to do a 180 and turn around. Just putting that out there.
Emergency ID
Alright. So here, triple slash immediately, and then press triangle and mash square with Punisher, and that should kill everyone. And you can roll out. And then you can practice combat rolls or something. Cannonball Cloud, as I call it, because he rolls like a cannonball. But this is optional, you don't have to do this. Just make sure you're stood up before the door, when the door closes like that. Then here, this is where we first start using our parry whirl strat. Up on the D-pad, switch to Tifa when we're able to, and then parry whirl down and left, away from the enemies. Whoops, got a little bit stuck on the pipe. That's fine. Then we're going this way. And now again here, this is where I started to learn about the minimap. As soon as it disappears, you can skip for a cutscene. Oh, too early, by like a frame.
You're pretty late, you know.
There, a couple of frames. It was more than a couple of frames. Oops. But you get the idea. As soon as that transitions then into the Heidegger cutscene, but if you know that minimap's going away, then you can optimize it. Here, run to the enemies, switch to Tifa, and then parry whirl away. Then here, I like to stay by the middle column and not too near to Tifa so we don't get slowed down as much.
Could use some help here.
We're coming!
Make it quick. Should be some stairs over there.
We better hurry.
Perfect. Sometimes you can get a little bit further than that. If you uppercut with Tifa at the end of that flee animation, Cloud can get further and it takes her longer to catch up, then he can get further at that part too. But it's whatever, it doesn't matter. Again, tiny little nano saves. Just relatively follow what I'm doing, and as long as you kind of get these results, you're good. Switch to Tifa, parry whirl away. There we go. And if you've ever tried this on PS4, or seen a run, or maybe seen one of my runs on PS4, you'll appreciate how much quicker Tifa's parry animation is, let alone the parry whirl, which is even quicker again. You know, even just on top of the base animation. Switch to Tifa, parry whirl, but join the left side of the tracks here. And see, we're fleeing right now, right? This is a good time to a good opportunity and a good time to explain the flee timer. So when you flee from a battle in this game, which we were with Tifa there by running away, right? Comes up with fleeing. While we're fleeing, there is a random timer that is applied between something like 1 and 10 seconds or 1 and 7 seconds that dictates the length of the flee, and then that dictates how far Tifa gets in her dash animation. So after that last encounter, we're not that near this next encounter. Sometimes your mileage may vary, and every time you run this, you will get further or maybe not as far depending on your flee timer. It's something that comes up in this chapter and the next one, wherever Tifa's parry whirl is involved. So in my PB, I think I got real close to this next encounter, so we just lost time by Cloud having to run and now get the encounter. See what I mean? Stay on the left side, and because of the camera settings we've got, parry whirl all the way down, just keep going as much as you can to this gate here, and then through. If you get onto this stairs, into this cutscene, that's perfect. That is the furthest you can go. What is likely to happen, if you don't get that animation, if you don't get the dashes as clean as I did, then Cloud will just get into the stairwell, and then you'll get stuck around there and you'll have to walk the rest of the way. But that's fine if that happens. You'll very seldom get Tifa all the way here until you've practiced the parry whirl and you get consistent at it like that. Because of that, the camera settings we have, if you noticed when Tifa was parry whirling, the camera stayed behind her. When I used to run this on PC, this is what I was explaining at the start when we talked about it, is that the camera used to be from in front of her, and I'm holding down right and parry whirling down this last train track. And I'm looking at her while she's dashing towards the camera, and it's really awkward. That's why I found these settings, and I wanted to show you guys the same ones, so that it keeps... I can't remember exactly which setting it was, whether it was the active character or the fixed targeting, whatever, but one of them locks it so that we don't have to worry about the camera control being yanked away from us, because it's really annoying. So after you get onto these stairs into this cutscene, go around here. All of these sequences here, switch to Tifa, parry whirl away. Again, flee timer now, so we get RNG distance, down, round, round. I actually like to end the fight there, so Tifa doesn't get into the next fight prematurely. You want it to end on these stairs so that the boys catch up. That's also something that's relevant in the next chapter. I'll explain when we get there. Here, you want to triple slash for Cloud. Roll out of that one. Buffer a thunder with Barret. I was a bit slow on the execution, actually.
That's a win.
He's R2 in this instance. So now Tifa's with us. Barrett, instead of L1, L2, X for Thunder, it's L1, R2, X for Thunder. Tifa is on L2. I've just figured that out here, which you will do on your runs. And again, if you don't get this like super clean optimal, it doesn't matter. Cloud can clean up anyone. You can switch to Barrett and overcharge. But basically, I just try and triple slash them guys while buffering a Thunder with Barrett. And I'm going to do the same thing on the next ones as well.
Let's just deal with it.
So their Cloud didn't even track the second enemy, so it was a good contingency that I did buffer that Thunder. Then we can just run straight over here. So even some of these things are not going exactly to my plan, and there's just not a damn thing I can do about it, but it is what it is. Triple slash this guy, and then roll away. But even though he has a shield up, that second guy just shielded himself. Or protected, I guess, would be the right term. Even though he protected himself, I think it was protect, maybe it was shell. Not seen those animations in this game in a very long time. Somebody let me know in the comments. Even though that guy protected himself, what I think was protecting himself, my triple slash being on easy, I'm so powerful that triple slash still just killed him. Then roll away here and then tell Barrett to catastrophe. It's just really consistent. You can Thunderger, and Thunderger is quicker, but because you magnify it, unless you do a manual one, there's a chance that you get a low damage roll, and it should kill it every time, actually. So if you want to be a sweat lord there, you can use Thunderger, but if not, then just easy mode catastrophe that guy. Then we're going to save load here. I don't remember if this one is worth it, but I don't think it is, actually, but it's just what I do anyway. Because we did it on PC. So here, you're going to go ahead, triple slash with Cloud, switch to Tifa, parry whirl away, kill those guys. Okay, that didn't quite go to plan. What normally, because they didn't run out, again, things are just not going to plan here. Sometimes those guys run out, so when Tifa gets in around the first box to the narrow clearing, the guys are already there. Then she would uppercut them while she's parry whirling, and parry whirl her way to the rest of the way along here to this gate. And then if you get to the gate and you're not already, the boys don't already warp to you, then buffer a Thunder with Barrett. In this instance, it didn't actually work correctly here because Tifa managed to finish them off. Like the guys finished off the earlier enemies while Tifa killed them too, and it just kind of worked out that way. A lot of the time, your companions won't kill the other enemies. That's why the buffered Thunder at the end is needed. Again, I'm sorry, this is like supposed to be a tutorial, but without like splicing and redoing parts, it's hard to show you the exact outcomes. Again, I will link my PB in the description, and it's already on the channel by now, probably, like I said earlier, so yeah. But hey ho, like I say, it's also a good thing to have things go wrong in the tutorial, because then you can see that not everything goes clean every time. There are some things that even with practice, that they don't go correctly because of enemy RNG like that, companion RNG like that, so yeah. This is just, again, it'd be negligible, right? A couple of seconds. There's some tricks up here that I want to do that if my strats don't work out, it can cost me a couple of seconds, but they're still no big deal anyway. So it's all good.
Hey, hold up. This way.
So what we're going to do here is triple slash with Cloud. I'm actually going to roll forward. Triple slash with Cloud, switch to Barrett, hit a Thunder, switch to Tifa, and then dash to the stairs. They're already dead. GG's. Again, that one is a bit of a meme, because sometimes, even though he should Thunder everything and get stagger boost off the turrets, sometimes he just doesn't hit them. So, yeah. That's part of the build, is that Barrett has ATB stagger, and what happens when he hits an enemy, well, if you hit an enemy with its weakness, with a magic spell, like if you hit a guard dog with Fyra on New Game Plus Easy, or you use Barrett's Thunder on anything mechanical, it will get staggered and die in like the next frame. So it's like, it gets staggered and immediately dies just from one Thunder. But that stagger is enough for Barrett's or anyone's ATB stagger to trigger. So one thing, like you may have noticed this on Chapter 1, I didn't really quite explain it very well, but on Chapter 1 is that with ATB stagger, that's how Barrett was able to just Thunder everyone and keep going, because he kept getting meter, kept getting ATB back because of the refresh due to ATB stagger. So, yeah. In this room, you can triple slash and then roll to the door, or you can switch to Tifa, dash to the door with parry whirl, and tell Barrett to thunder. It's up to you. There's like 2 ways. It's whatever. They're both kind of as long as they are short, I think. Like, I'm not too sure, especially on this, on like a beginner level, it won't matter. So this is Crab Warden. Triple slash with Cloud, switch to Tifa, just in case. We didn't need it. His triple slash absolutely fucked it up, that's fine. Switching to Tifa is a contingency there. On normal, we'd switch to Tifa and limit break. But different run, different route. So what you're going to actually do here is switch to Barrett, and then do a manual Thunderger. L1 to remove your Magnify, and then Thunderger Crab Warden himself. Don't hit any of the drones, and don't hit his legs. That's enough to immediately phase shift him. That's why I do the manual one, because your hotkey would hit a random target with a magnified reduced damage Thunderger. And there's a chance you just hit a slug ray with it, and then you're like, why isn't he dead? So just do it that way. Then here, go ahead and overcharge into a Thunderger, switch to Cloud and triple slash, and it's dead. GG's. That was overkill, but they were all like contingency safety buffers. Barrett probably could have killed it. Or Cloud perhaps could have killed it on his own. It's just do everything that I do there, just to be safe, and then it's good to go. Not so much safe in terms of you could die, but safe in terms of time loss.
Like that in Reactor 1?
Yeah, except the bastard looked like a scorpion. Speaking of which...
Looks dead now.
Say that last one looked like.
Huh?
Well...
Lo and behold.
Looks dead now.
So I tried to play for a little Barrett boost there, but again, if you get it, don't worry about it. Like, if you don't get it, don't worry about it. If you do get it, don't worry about it. And that's Chapter 5. Now we are on Chapter 6. So here, you're going to sandbag your movement and let Tifa go first. Okay. Then follow Barrett. Get in between them, but don't try and interact with that beam. Stand to the right. And then just... I fucked it there. See how he got pushed away? That's unfortunate. So this is right at the start, so I'm going to start the chapter again and just show you the correct way to do that. Just because it's available and I can. I actually advanced too early there and screwed the trick. So you know with these blue arrows, if you try and force them too early, it pushes you back like that. So I'm going to show you how to avoid that. It's going to come up a few times. So go to the right and then wait. Let go of all movement, then hold left here. I could have gone a little bit earlier. I was actually a bit late, but you can get on a little bit earlier, and you're like just as the blue arrows are loading, and you essentially like get on at the first like earliest time you can, and avoid all the pushback memery. I'll show you some more cooler ones with Aerith as well. So because we're doing New Game Plus, we already know about this, so we can already run around here. Do you know? I'm not sure if you can do this in New Game as well. I presume you can because you just know about it, right? There isn't really anything New Game Plus, per se, about this particular thing. It's just if you know, you know. So this is a long dialogue mash. I'm going to not mash that hard because I'm going to have a drink.
Hey guys, instructions for...
Kill the lights?
Sunlight, the closest thing...
Gotta put out a...
Okay.
But if we go through...
Now or later.
That's true.
Let's go.
All these lamps. You'd think they'd be able to balance the
Dun
load
dun
by
dun dun.
Maybe. If the maintenance guys or whoever
Alright.
weren't playing hooky.
Now we have to go and do the sun lamps. Again, here we're going to be utilising Parry Whirl to escape battles with Tifa. And Flea Timer is a thing, so I may get further than, you know, I may or may not get as far as I need to get on each section. I'll let you know the distances.
We'll wait down here.
After every one of these is a light cutscene, a cutscene where you do the lamp. So just after every switch, get ready to skip a cutscene. Basically. Come over here, left side switch, mash triangle, hold down, skip cutscene, and then run along here and immediately switch to Tifa. And then parry whirl past this guy. Your camera's going to get turned here no matter what, so just adjust your angle accordingly. And line yourself up. I think I was wrong here, I was just a bit off. When you're parry whirling away, you want to be past this turret and in line with this light in the ceiling. If I remember rightly. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, look for, or just be past these pillars, these black pillars, if you can. If you can get, like, to here with Tifa, then you can start holding down and you can parry whirl across this bridge. Again, flea timers are a thing. Sometimes you can even get Tifa down to here. So just keep that in mind.
What's up with that?
It's like in the tunnels.
Don't be worried if yours doesn't go like that, because like I said, the flee time has changed things and changed your distance. So you just have to deal with it. Stay on the right here and tuck in. Let them run past you so they don't bonk.
We're still in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Well,
Go for 10.
the only other route that I can think of would be
Along the wall.
up for giving it.
so we're shooting for those giant
Okay.
vans way over there.
Those
Then we're going this way, and we're heading over to that lamp. So you're going to switch to Tifa and parry well over to the left here. You can switch the camera if you need to. Then we're going this way, right, and then this way. And again, you may get further along this bridge, or you may not get as far, and the battle ends at the top of the stairs.
Seems that way.
Just know that you'll forever have hidden gold splits on this this chapter, because sometimes you'll get further and sometimes you won't. It is what it is.
No fear. No fear. No fear. No fear. Little fear.
I know I also didn't go over anything to do with live split or setting that up, but I believe that people can basically find a live split tutorial. I'm not the best qualified person to give one of those. I barely know how to use it myself. So yeah, this is more about learning the speed run of this game regardless of timer. You can just put any old timer on. Doesn't have to be live split. It's just only if you want to have your own splits and stuff. So here, just as a joke, Tifa says, don't look at the fan. I don't like her telling me how to live my life. So as a rebel, I spend my time looking at the fan here. It's just a joke. My split for this chapter is called Look At Fan. So there is something you do actually do here, is at the end of this little passageway, you want to hold up and left with both sticks to try and turn off before Tifa. You want to get down this ladder before her, really. Again, not something we can always get. Yeah, nearly. Okay, got it.
Think that took a
It's just so you don't end up stuck behind her while running.
not really. Couple seconds maybe. 3 tops.
I don't even think it's that bad if you get stuck behind her, to be fair, but it's just, you know, it's like something I've done for so long now, so I'm just telling you what I know and how I do it. Bum, 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 bum. So you have to wait here, match triangle, because this cutscene is really obscure as to when it starts. Then go right by the light of these magnificent lamps. Follow this round and go up the stairs.
To a brighter future.
Say what?
It's from a speech President Shinra gave, talking up the importance.
Then here, we can just triple slash those grass strikes and run over and do the lamp. You could triple slash and run away from them and kill them on the way back, because we have to go back that way anyway, but I choose to just wipe them out now. Do this switch, then go back, and then hotkey Barrett for thunders. Perfect.
We can move this catwalk.
Yeah. Lined it up perfect.
Then we get all those dialogue overlaps, because we did so many things at once there. Then we're heading to this light.
We're gonna get lost.
Again, parry well with Tifa. Ideally, we didn't get there. Ideally, Tifa can get here, and I think on my PB run, I stood here and did 2 uppercuts by the time the flee actually happened. So again, just to show you, here the game wants you to go this way, but don't. It's slower. Go this side instead. Just go back the way you came, basically.
I can show you around.
Then you're going to get into this fight, and there's a battle here, and we're going to go round to the right, and then down a set of stairs, and there's another battle. When you parry whirl with Tifa here, there's a chance that she can get into the second battle before we fleed the first one. If that happens, and you get Tifa all the way to the objective where I need to go, to the cargo lift, when the flee happens and the battle ends, instead of the boys warping to me, Tifa will warp to the boys, and they'll be up on... If I, like, switch to them, they're up on the bridge. So it loses you loads of time. So what you actually need to do here is take this fight, switch to Tifa, parry whirl round to the right, go across this bridge, and sandbag. Okay, it didn't matter. We ran out anyway because of flee timer. But no matter what, uppercut or do something here until you flee, and run out, waste some time there. Then come down the stairs to get this as a separate single battle. Then parry whirl your way over to this elevator, go ahead and do a funky uppercut because you've got time, and then the boys will warp to you. And like I said, if you do that as one fell swoop with Tifa parry whirl all the way through both battles, you will get to this point at the cargo elevator, and then the boys will be up on the bridge still, upstairs. Trust me, it's happened to me in a run, and I reset over it, and it was annoying.
Speaking of which,
So there's a nice interesting strat for this one as well.
I want him to worry.
This is a strat I learnt from the Sid, who runs hard mode. I think he has records in hard mode, or he used to anyway.
We'll just have to make one.
In this next area where that lamp is, when we get there, let me just do the bridge. When we get into there in a moment, there's going to be a battle with 2 sentry guns. What I'm going to do is switch to Tifa, dash, like hold parry, like R1 and parry with her 3 times. And so when I say dash with Tifa, if I just say dash, I mean hold R1 and hit just manual parries without parry whirling. So we're going to get into this battle, switch to Tifa, hit R1 and circle and dash 3 times, and then hotkey Barrett to thunder the turrets. That will end the battle, switching us back to Cloud. Then we'll get on the ladder, because there's actually 4 enemies here. There's 2 sentry guns and 2 terpsichotes, but there's a timed spawn. The sentries are already there, the terpsichotes, they're the little seahorse guys. They come in after. What we're intending to do, hopefully I get it, is to eradicate the sentry guns, finish the battle and get on the ladder before the terpsichotes spawn, do the switch for the lamp, come back down, enter that battle with the terpsichotes, and then Tifa is going to parry whirl her way for a random distance back to the cargo elevator. Again, this is an intermediate advanced strat, but you might as well learn it off the bat now because it's really good. Again, shout outs to the Sid, I think it's the_Sid, who taught me this one.
No match for me.
You keep telling yourself that.
There we go. Now we killed the 2, you can see in the kill feed there, sentry gun A and B defeated, and the terpsichotes have just spawned. So now, as I said, we can come up here, pull the switch, skip the cutscene, go back down, and these guys are here waiting for us. And now Tifa can parry whirl away and save a nice bunch of time. Again, well, random amount because of flea timer. Your mileage may vary here, yep. Sometimes you can get all the way around, but it is what it is. That's still way better than if you just killed them all in one battle and ran back manually. Such a nice time save that is too good to not use on this chapter, if you know about it. Something we say in the Hitman community, which is like when the strats are that good, they're too good to not use.
And we're back at the cargo platform.
Get ready, Mako reactor.
And just because you're a beginner, there's no reason why you can't practice and learn that. It's not too hard to execute at all.
Auxiliary power supply.
Oh, accidentally paused that there. There are some things that I'm misremembering that are not cutscenes. That's my fault, just because of Rust. Sorry about that. Do as I say, not as I do. In some instances where I do it wrong anyway. Not so much wrong, but make a little hiccup like that. It's not a big deal. Like I said, I'm not going to sweat it. I just want to get the main gist of all the strats and all my thought process for what I do and why I do it. I just want to tell you guys and get it out there, and, you know, we can go from there. Maybe we get some more runners involved. Maybe people, like, get inspired to run the game. I would like to think so.
Be ready for it.
Right.
I feel like there might be an upsurge in people who run this game once they've played some Rebirth. Even if it's not before Rebirth, but it might be after, because they might have an interest to come back and run this game then. Okay, here, you're going to immediately switch to Barrett, and hotkey Barrett Thunder. L1, R2X. And just spam it. There we go. Cloud unfortunately got, like, tumped by a missile there, but that was just funny more than anything. It doesn't affect it, though. So Barrett just thundered all the turrets and sentry guns and everything there. And because of his ATB stagger on Thunder, as I said, it staggers and immediately insta-kills them, and then he gets ATB stagger, so he gets refresh, and then he can spam Thunder again. Like, as long as he has MP, he can keep spamming. Especially against mechanical enemies like that, as you've seen. And there's some instances with Cloud where I utilize that same strat on like guard dogs and hella troopers with Fire Magnify, because it's just enough to get a stagger refresh off of them as well.
It's nothing. Just thinking about the next step. Didn't think I'd be this nervous.
Some things you never get used to.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that chapter. Alright, run around here, go all the way to the end, and then come back, and just go over to Tifa. And just stand here by her.
Well now, that could work.
Then what I'm going to do, can I save? I can't, that's unfortunate. I wanted to save here, because there's a little save load trick that I want to show you. Can I save after he goes? Just that, no I can't, okay never mind. Then immediately get on the pipe, and just don't mess up the trick. But at the bottom of this, at the bottom of these pipes, hopefully I can do this here without moving. Yeah, I can.
Scary, huh?
Okay, here. So, I'm going to do a save load here coming up, but at first of all, I want to make a new save just to show you this trick in case I mess it up. But there's like a special save load you can do. And what I use for reference are the black drain on the left where Tifa's walking up to. That black drain, and in between that black drain and the thick black line on the tiles, you'll see it coming up here. There, we got the... He was just about to say, hey, if I was any later than that, it wouldn't let me save here. So now, we can go over our other save load save. Then what happens is you load this save load. If you do it perfectly, you skip the Airbuster dialogue, so you don't have to stop and talk about it. So just practice that. Again, it's no big deal if you get it. If you don't get it, like, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it too much. But it's nice if you can get it. And you just use, like I said, I use that like... storm drain looking thing on the left side, and it's like after that drain but before the thick black grout line of the tiles. Once you sort of know that positioning and you feel it out yourself, you'll get it. Here I just triple slash everything. They run into the middle, that's fine.
Would kill for a shower. Almost there.
Sorry if I'm sniffly, I'm sure I'm catching a cold. It has been like -2 and storms and wind and snow and everything. Not snow, but... Go ahead and triple slash these guys and buffer a thunder with Barrett, just in case they don't die. Perfect.
Nothing to it.
Yeah, it's been like -2 outside, like wind, rain, storms. Alright, here, go ahead and use Thunder Magnify on the robots with Barrett. Hopefully he gets ATB refreshes. And or kills everyone. Perfect. That's exactly what you want. There you go. He may miss one of the sentry guns or something, and you can just switch to him and use overcharge if that happens. It's just a little time loss, it's nothing big. Just annoying little things that can happen more than anything. Like, there's more little annoying time losses in this game than in quite a few games that I run, actually. But there's not a lot that you can always do about some of the memes that happen in this. And we do a lot already to mitigate some of the bullshit because we're playing on easy. If you do even this run on normal, because you're on normal, in the later chapters you can get knocked around and you get beaten to shit. So it can be hard to come back from that because some of the later bosses can actually mess you up on normal. I nearly took the world record for normal category as well. I was like 5 or 6 minutes ahead of the world record coming up to the end of the game, and then I ended up 8 minutes behind because the last 2 chapters just messed me up. Sephiroth messed me up. It was just, everything that went wrong, everything that could have went wrong, you know. So skip this cutscene here, triple slash these guys immediately. Because it's on easy and not normal, they won't dodge you. They can dodge the occasional thunders, but they're not as evasive on easy. Same as the guard dogs. So this is like mash dialogue and clearing some rooms. And the main things we're going to be using here are triple slash with Cloud and then buffer a thunder afterwards. Don't do them too quickly. Let Cloud finish the triple slash before you send the thunder. That affects whether, like, because otherwise Barrett will do the thunder too early. He will then miss the thunder on an enemy that Cloud has just killed with the 3rd hit of triple slash, and then you're stood there wondering why the 4th or 5th guy isn't dead. Like, Barrett, what the hell? That's why. Alright, skip this. Switch to Barrett Thunder, then roll over here with Cloud. Or triple slash, roll left, and then Barrett Thunder, whichever. Get this card. Mash dialogue. Over to Tifa.
It looks like a
Could tamper.
And give us.
There should be a console.
This the console you talking about?
Over here. Oh, I missed. Mash the console. And after the M units, only use circle to mash, so you don't re-interact with it after you're finished.
Yep.
Sounds bad.
Pretty sure I can.
So now after this, just use circle to mash, because otherwise if you use triangle here, you'll finish the dialogue and then you'll re-interact with the machine.
M unit.
Something I learned the hard way on this part and on the Guild Snapper guy on the Yuffie speedrun.
So
Same
far,
thing.
so good.
Right. Let's move.
So we're not actually going to sabotage the boss at all because we don't need to.
You think they're what?
Yep.
Nothing we can do about it. Except smile.
Out of my way.
Okay, so here we're going to triple slash the mono drives, roll out, buffer Barrett to do thunders. He should take care of the turrets. And there we go.
That it?
Okay, triple slash, buffer a thunder. Then the only guy left is this guy here who is health gated, so you can just run Cloud to the switch. Then by the time he's able to move, your companions will kill him.
Looks like
And then good to go. I mean, you're already here at the switch ready to do the door. You may lose a couple of seconds from Barrett or Tifa not killing him as quickly as they possibly could. But, again, it is what it is. It's just nano. Okay. Up here. These guys, you can just tell Barrett to thunder. He took his sweet time about doing it, but... Again, wait for Cloud to finish the last hit, then do your thunder. Perfect. You see there now, we're already at the switch, they immediately kill the guy. It's perfect.
I tell you, we're about to make... Times...
Oh no.
Come on, don't be shy. How about you, Cloud?
I don't dance.
Oh, we'll be seeing about that, Cloud. We will see about that, sir, in a couple of chapters' time. We will be seeing if you do or do not dance. I think you do, however. Because I think it's one of our bathroom breaks. If you don't take the one on Chapter 8. And if you smoke, then Chapter 8 is your bathroom break and Chapter 9 is your smoke break. Alright, again. Buffer the thunder after the triple slash is finished. There we go. That one was a lesson learned because it took me the longest time to work that out as to why Barrett was missing and why these rooms were like almost like RNG to me. That's why, is just for the letting Cloud finish the triple slash before you send the thunder changes it completely. Okay, here, get up to the first guy, triple slash, then roll out. Actually, no, do you know what? Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. I was going to retry that battle because you can triple slash and roll out, or you can tell Barrett to thunder them. It is what it is. Because what happened to me there is I did the triple slash and I actually did it at the wrong time. So it's a good way to show you what not to do almost. Because I did the triple slash at the wrong time. I did it too close to the first enemy. I should have done it earlier to whiff the first hit, like we were doing. Second hit would hit the first enemy. Third hit would hit the second enemy, the last enemy, and then I'd be near the door. What actually happened was I triple slashed too late, made contact with the first enemy with the first hit, second enemy, second hit, then he went back for the first enemy with the final hit, and I had to roll out of it. And then that didn't save me as much time as if I'd have done Barrett Thunder there. So there's two ways to do it. You can either just YOLO, just triple slash, bro, whatever, or you can Barrett Thunder. It's whatever. Okay, go over here, use this right console. Ooh, this is the hardest boss. I forgot to mention, the hardest boss in the game are triangle prompts and ladders. You'll see. When you try it yourself, or when you see me miss a ladder with Cloud, it happens. Don't worry about it. Okay, this room, just for memes, I like to roll past everyone here and then tell Barrett to catastrophe them and switch to Tifa. Then if you really want to meme around, you can tell Cloud to triple slash if there's anyone left. And then this guy is like a scripted guy. So this is where I practice like punch parries, normal parry, Parry whirl. Uppercut cancel.
Understood. Prepare the airbuster for immediate deployment. Shit.
Like that. Just like an uppercut parry cancel.
Hey guys. Looks like a
We definitely
Real though. Could
veto.
Okay, now go over here to this light.
no way we're
And then, as long as Tifa says no way we're getting back up that pipe, then here, Cloud's going to triple slash and bunder a Tharot with... Yeah, Cloud is going to triple slash and then buffer a Thunder with Barret. Perfect.
Real subtle invitation.
Right, now, run round here, and in this next fight with the mono drives, don't attack them. Switch to Tifa, and we're going to parry whirl away. You can kill these guys immediately with triple slash, but it's actually more beneficial to use this time for Tifa to parry whirl. Ah, I got stuck there. If you can turn your camera and get onto the stairs, then happy days. Didn't quite get as far as I wanted, but just knowing that will save you a few seconds on this chapter as well. Because if you just killed those manually, you then just run there with Cloud and it's not as fast. So.
What? It's locked down.
Is there any way?
Yeah, from that.
Why does
Sorry if you can hear my controller mashing as well, by the way.
I like the sound of that.
I do have noise gates and filters that should prevent that. Especially on this PS5 controller, these buttons are not too loud. My PS1 pad, however, is really clickety-clackety, so you'd hear that one. Okay, I use a special grip for this. I actually hug the controller to my chest,
So we need to
like that, and use both thumbs at the same time. I don't know why, but I just feel like it helps me not mess it up.
Okay, pay attention, you two. 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. So it's literally like... I hold it to my chest so that I can use both thumbs and just boom. I know it sounds silly, but there's a method to that madness. Also, yeah, I have a Tifa t-shirt.
What y'all got tucked away?
I thought after my t-shirts arrived and my Tifa cloth scroll, this would be a perfect opportunity to do this tutorial now. Good timing. Alright, so come through here, and before you go into this fight, go ahead and make sure Barret is ethered. You can turbo ether if you have them, it's quicker, just turbo ether. You can use the bench if other people are injured, they shouldn't be, but if they were, you could use the bench out there. Now, this is going to be the last boss of this part of the tutorial. So I want to, at this part in the video, I want to thank you for watching this far, and I hope you're enjoying the tutorial and the run. This is Airbuster. What we're going to do for him, I'm going to tell you a little bit of the strat now before we do the fight, and then I want to just execute it. So, in the first phase, we're going to use triple slash with Cloud, switch to Tifa, and immediately uppercut. That's going to send the boss into his next phase. He's going to back away down that alleyway, that corridor that he goes down, and sets up a tank buster. While he's doing that, still in control of Tifa, we will dash or parry whirl, however you want to just follow him and get all the way along there and build up ATB while you're getting there. And then as he settles in position and as you get to him with Tifa, we're going to do a Star Shower and Hotkey, a Thundergut with Barret. This will then hit him at the just after the Star Shower, and it should cancel the Tank Buster animation. What I actually, I'll tell a lie, what I actually do in this situation, just as a contingency, is I do what I mentioned. I dash down, I use Star Shower, buffer a Thundergut with Barret, and then with Tifa, I actually use an uppercut at the end, just in case. If anything, sometimes the uppercut hits him before the Thundergut, and that will work too sometimes, depending on the damage threshold. Perfect. Then it will be in final phase, and where we're stood on the bridge and he's flying at a distance. Then we're going to tell Barret with hotkeys to immediately Catastrophe, which will basically health gate him, because it hits multiple times for big damage. This will then bring Airbuster right close to us. Whoever has ATB at the end, be it Cloud or Tifa, can just finish them. Can finish the boss. So, let's put it into practice. I'll still try and say it as I do it, but I just wanted you to know the outline of the plan before we went into it. Okay, so, cutscene skip. Triple slash Cloud, switch Tifa. Uppercut. Perfect. It's in phase 2, and she has meter. Then, holding R1, mash circle with her to parry towards it. Star shower. Hit Thunder go with Barrett. Perfect. He was actually a bit late, but that's fine. And actually, nobody has ATB here, so it's kind of an unfortunate one, but Cloud will have, so Cloud will finish the fight. So just go ahead here and switch to Barrett. You can either switch to him and do a catastrophe or hotkey it, whatever you want to do. We're just going to switch to him, and we're going to catastrophe. Then we're going to switch to Cloud. Then you're going to see here, it's going to health gate the boss, and it's going to bring him in close to us. Then we just triple slash and he's dead. GG's. And like I say, if Tifa has ATB there, you can just uppercut, dive kick, whatever. There's a few of these that, a bit like Guard Scorpion, whoever has ATB kills the boss, but there's like 3 options you have there. Or you could switch back to Barrett after Catastrophe and use Overcharge if nobody had bar. There's so many ways you can go about that. Okay, this is the start of Chapter 8. I'm going to leave it here. There's a menu that we're going to do here next at the start of this chapter, but I'm going to leave that for the start of part 2 and for the start of this chapter, so it'll be a bit more fluent. Instead of teaching you to do the menu now and then the start of the next episode we move on. I don't think that's a good way to do it. So yeah, this has been part 1 of 3 to maybe 4 part mini series of this speedrun tutorial. I hope this has been enjoyable so far. Thank you for watching. If you're at this point in the video, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. You obviously have an interest in learning and running this game, so I hope that my advice and my strategies have been clear, concise, and have made sense so far. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can join my Discord. I'll put the link in the description, and you can also just post a comment below, and I am pretty active on responses. I'm a very small channel, so most comments I get I'll reply to. So feel free to just chuck me a message, DM me on Twitter, whatever. If you want to learn any runs, if you want me to help you go over some things, to analyze any of your footage, to see what you're doing wrong or whatever, there isn't going to be much you can do wrong. You'll be fine. You'll all be able to run this. It's cool. So yeah, so I just want to spread this run, dude. I love this game, and I just want people to run it. And I feel like this is a really nice category. New game can be a bit memey, it can be a bit annoying to learn, there's a lot that can go wrong. New game normal, for instance, Reno is a dick on chapter 12, he's a really annoying fight. And some of the bosses can be an absolute pain in the ass, but on this category and in this run, with this route, everything is practically free. You just have to attend and hold the controller, and it's just fun. You get to spend time with your favourite characters in one of your favourite games, probably. I know I do. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. That's going to be it from me, and I will look forward to seeing you in part 2.